Many times people ask me, what do you do for a living, David? Look, I work on this cool stuff in operating rooms. It's Friday and I'm driving home, and I just got a call from my season ticket representative from Orlando City to ask me if I wanted to add two more seats to my season ticket package, which I already have two seats. And she's very nice. I explained to her. I said, "Well, I gotta be quite honest with you. People in my family have lost the excitement for it, and the results have not been there. And I find myself many times being the only one going to the games, and my family joins me from time to time. But the reality is, I'm the one that still believes that Orlando City is gonna make something out of the season." And I was so sad by telling her that. She's like, "Yeah, I know, but we signed a new coach and this and that." And I wanted to say, the same things I have said in previous videos, but I said, I know that. I'm very excited. I'm very hopeful, but we got to see the results. And I told her, once is a coincidence, twice is a pattern. And, it just made me sad because I said, if you want me to add two seats to my package, the results have to be there to get my family excited. Just like they were in the USL days, where going to an Orlando City game was such an event, such a joyous occasion. And 6 years after coming to MLS, it's so sad to have to face that reality. And I think, having to tell somebody that works for the team that really is trying to turn this into an opportunity. I'm in the same boat with my jobs. I have to upsell maintenance contracts for customers that are coming out of warranty, et cetera, et cetera. I know how tough it is to make that cold call to see if somebody will be interested in basically upgrading. And so yeah, I was very nice and polite to her. I've spoken to her many times and met her in person. But I think she had already heard that before, and I could tell that there's excitement in her voice that Oscar Pareja is gonna be a catalyst for better things. But I gotta be honest with you, I've been beat up so many times and been let down so many times that it's hard to get excited. And if that doesn't make me a good supporter, a good fan, a fair weather person, then that's what I am. I can't understand how 5 years of humiliation can really change my attitude in the blink of an eye. Because like I said before, Oscar said the same things that other managers have said before. I'm here to lift trophies and make playoffs and turn this around. Prove it to me. Don't tell me. So this weekend, there was some video surfacing online about an English fan making monkey sounds or something at a player, and people being completely disgusted by it, which that is fantastic that people start to realize that racism and division and xenophobia and all that has no place in the sport. I actually have used the analogy of saying that football is the universal language. As a matter of fact, when I close my podcast, the Spanish podcast that I produce, Tiro de Esquina, I close the episodes always by saying that football will make you cry of joy or anger. Football is cruel and unpredictable. Football is international language. Football is football, and that's the way I like it. And I think that if you were to put 22 men of different religions, different nationalities, different languages. None of them have anything in common. They cannot communicate any other way. And you put them on a football pitch and you toss them a ball, they would immediately start bonding over the love for the game and the rules. They know what to do. They don't need to communicate. They just they just need to play. Um, in MLS, I am happy to say that rarely, very rarely, you get to see that type of display. And maybe it's because here in the United States we're very sensitive at racial division, racial hatred. Not for nothing, this country fought a civil war um, over 150 something years ago. Well, almost 160. Wow, I can't believe. Yeah, almost 160 years ago, and over the slavery and stuff like that. And although it's been almost 200 years since that occurred, the 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 effects of that event are still felt today because in the southern United States where I live is where the war was mostly fought, and people got to meet veterans of the war, or they had a family member, an ancestor that fought, or they have parents or grandparents that knew somebody that served in that time. So perhaps we are so overly sensitive that we don't go there. We respect that. And one of the things I like about MLS that most leagues in the world can enjoy is the fact that we don't have barbed wire or plexiglass or divisions to separate the supporters from gameplay. In the Orlando City Stadium, from my seats, if I take 4 steps, boom, I'm on the pitch. If I yell and scream something at the players, they can perfectly hear me. So one of the things that I always baffle me from fans from overseas that will come to Orlando City games as part of their vacation was they always complimented us by saying, wow, I can't get over the fact that there's so many families, so many kids at games. Back home, we don't get to have that. And as I have progressed on looking at world football and looking at other leagues, I'm starting to notice that in some places of the world, going to a football match is the most dangerous thing that anybody can do, and that is not open for everybody. Some places they don't allow women to enjoy the beautiful game live. There's nothing more precious than going to the stadium. I always keep saying it to anybody. You cannot establish football culture from your living room. You have to experience it live. There's nothing like getting dressed on a Saturday afternoon to go meet your friends at the stadium to watch your favorite team play, or perhaps something that I haven't experienced myself, go to the airport, jump on a plane to go see your team play somewhere else. Support them away from home, and if you can get the victory, even sweeter. So I just wanted to introduce that this is basically general football. It doesn't have anything to do with Orlando City, but it's something that I wanted to share with you guys because the love for the game should trump any other division or hate among ourselves. So Orlando City has made some signings this past week. Um, One from our academy, and the other one from Colombia. 2 young kids. The Colombian player actually is gonna be our first Orlando City player born in the 21st century. That's amazing, I think. Um, but also this week, the team let everybody know to their social media that they were gonna be hosting an American football game um, this month. In the United States, December, January are bowl season. Basically, this championships where colleges are invited based on their scores, the place on the table. There's a complicated dynamic I really don't know much about, but there's a charity um, that basically works collecting money for breast cancer research and prevention, and they're gonna have a bowl game, and they chose uh, Exploria Stadium because it's a smaller venue compared to the Citrus Bowl, which is a much bigger stadium. And it's a source of revenue for the team, and also the teams are going to be donating money to this cause, and I thought that was pretty nice. But our supporter groups, sadly, they think this is an abomination. Before the stadium was built, it was said that the pitch was going to be in compliance with rugby, American football, soccer, football, and lacrosse, because they wanted those type of events to come to the stadium. So the stadium in the past has been host to a plethora of different tournaments and events, because it's privately owned, and it's a facility that needs to generate revenue for the team. And after all, the team is funding this stadium by themselves. It has a mortgage, and when you don't have either Pride or Orlando City playing games there, you have to generate some sort of income um, to obviously cover the expenses of operation of the club. And I think that is stupid that our supporter groups continue to create this barrier where if you're not a member of their supporter group, if you haven't been here since the very beginning, that you're not a real fan. And I think that's ridiculous. Supporters are everywhere. Everybody that sits everywhere in the stadium, people that stay up till 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning overseas watching this team. And I just don't understand why is it that our supporter groups continue to have this elitist attitude, and they have made me into public enemy number one on Twitter because I've been calling them out, and I will continue to call them out for what they're doing. They are creating a division that is just gonna keep getting wider and wider, and eventually it's gonna destroy this feel good atmosphere, this you're my brother, one city, one team type of attitude that we have since the very beginning. Let me be clear, there wouldn't be an Orlando City today if it wasn't for supporter groups. Supporter groups were the ones that held the torch when nobody believed in this project. Nobody believed this third division team could ever become an MLS expansion team. But the leadership that was focused, that saw the big picture, unfortunately has moved on. And the people that have been in place are people that are not qualified to call themselves supporters because their attitude shows otherwise. So if any supporters from Orlando City are or members of those supporter groups are listening to this, I hope that you deliver the message to the people that need to hear it. And lastly, I'll be recording my podcast, Tiro de Esquina, tonight to talk about all the stuff that has happened this past week. The players that were let go officially, the signing of Oscar Pareja as our manager, the new players that are coming in, and the plans in the future. And also, it looks like Flamengo from the Brazilian Premier League is going to be having a friendly with Orlando City. So we're very excited about that because I think those type of teams of that quality for preseason elevate where we need to be, especially since we're basically an expansion team this year. Bunch of new people, new manager. We don't know what's gonna happen. So I will be closing with me recording the podcast and a couple of shots of the tweets that the supporter groups posted out, and the fact that our founder and president of the Orlando City Foundation had to call them out to chill when somebody of that stature and that respect has to come to the supporter groups to tell them to take it down a notch. Perhaps we need to reevaluate where our real criticism needs to be. I'll be seeing you guys soon.